Hello everyone. Today I've chosen to declare my faith and commitment to God through baptism, and I want to share with you what has led up to me choosing to get baptised. Christianity has always been around me. All of my family are Christian, my dad's a pastor, my family will read the Bible and pray every day. I've gone to church pretty much every Sunday of my life. I went to every Christmas service, carol service and Easter service. I've been to youth groups, Sunday schools and Christian camps. For a Christian, this is almost the perfect childhood that you'd think would lead to a perfect relationship with God. But life isn't perfect, and I'm not perfect. Recently in my life, a lot of things changed in a short period of time. I'm not always great with change. I like things prepared, organised. I have routines and lists. I like things being in control and having a plan to follow. And I like to have an idea of what I'm going into before I do something. But we all know that life isn't so easy and predictable, and things do change suddenly, which is something I struggle with. In the past year or two, things kept on changing that I had little control over. The plan I had for my life kept on going more and more off track. I lost friends, I lost family. My sister had to go into hospital. I mentally began to really struggle. I had difficulty coping with stress, self-image, grief, a lack of control, and many other things were piling on top of all this. This consumed my life and felt inescapable. My life definitely began to spiral. I felt very alone and stuck in a mess that I couldn't get out of. And I never felt like I could really talk to anyone who could fully understand. Whilst things changed so drastically, what I never realised was also how much I had changed, and not for good. In all the chaos, I'd completely forgotten about God. I'd become hateful, unkind, unhappy. I was so angry with myself and God, and I kept on asking, why can't anything just go to plan? Nothing was going right, and every time things calmed down, something else would happen. I felt fed up and tired, so sick of everything changing and nothing going the way I wanted. I finally went to God with all my problems, and almost instantly I felt an indescribable peace. I felt the comfort and love of God and began to feel hope. I decided to trust the Lord with my life and follow his plans instead of trying to force my own. My life keeps on changing, things still go wrong, but now I feel at peace with everything. It feels manageable. Even when things begin to get overwhelming, I still have the comfort of knowing that God is with me and I don't have to feel so alone. I didn't realise it at the time. When I look back to who I was only a few months ago, I can now see how some of those changes were actually opportunities. By losing some friends, I gained others, and I learned to value the friends who'd been with me the whole time. As a person, I became stronger and kinder, and by trusting in God, even when things got difficult, I was blessed with so many things. I found the Christian Union at my school, and I began to become friends with people who are more like me, who have helped me grow and become more confident as a Christian. I began to enjoy reading my Bible, praying and attending church. I started to do Bible studies, asking questions and forming a personal relationship with God. I began helping in crash and volunteering more and forming closer connections to people in the church. A few months into sixth form, and I began to realise how much I had changed, and others had realised it too. This change was undoubtedly because of the work of God that he had done in my life, finally being welcomed into my heart. I then kept on thinking, what's next? What do I do now? And the idea of baptism kept on speaking to me. In the beginning, I kind of pushed it to the side. I thought I wasn't ready, and I didn't know enough about the Bible, that I wasn't good enough to be baptised. I then mentioned it to my dad as a possibility in the future, but not something I wanted to do right now. Over time, this feeling got stronger and stronger, and I felt this push towards getting baptised. I felt God saying I was ready to take this next step. I then began baptism Bible studies with Joey, and I learned more about baptism and why it's so important. I learned that baptism is a declaration of your faith to God and your commitment to him. It's not a promise that you're going to be perfect, because no one can promise that. But it's a promise that you'll work to live following the image of God. It's a promise to follow God and carry your cross. So whilst I've already committed my life to him, today will mark the start of my new life, as I continue to trust in him and his plans, no matter what happens.
From your old life as best you can, and it's your desire to surrender your life and follow Jesus. And lastly, Lydia, are you determined, with the help of God's Holy Spirit, to live a life pleasing to him? Lydia, on the confession of your faith, we baptize you in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.